Hello everyone. In this video today we're going to be taking a look at an article from True Pundit that was published on August 15th by their investigative bureau. Now I know I'm getting to this a few days late where it's now officially August 19th where I'm recording this video. It's early Saturday morning. But I just saw this relatively later in the day yesterday and this really hasn't getting any traction. So I figured I would do a video on this so that people can see what's going on and hopefully it'll get a bit wider attention from it as a result. Exclusive. FBI admits federal informants linked to deadly Charlottesville riots, unlikely to face charges. FBI insiders said it is unlikely leaders of the radical groups that clashed in demonstrations turned deadly in Charlottesville, Virginia will face prosecution. Why? FBI said they have already identified several federal informants who participated in the mob-like riots over the weekend in Virginia. The FBI is also now working those sources to piece together the events from Charlottesville, sources said. Now, I have a problem with that because these people most likely were physically involved in what actually happened, because when it comes to having someone inside an organization, whether they're a private citizen or a federal agent, odds are, and in most cases, they're there to be provocateurs, they're there to radicalize people, they're there to create criminal offenses and charges so that they can bust these people. You know, it's basically entrapment. If not, they're using these people to commit what amounts to criminal activity to push or promote their particular agenda. So I don't trust these people giving information, and I don't trust them, saying that the information, saying the information's accurate. I don't trust any of it. I don't trust the FBI with it. I don't trust the people with it. This is just so disgustingly shady. FBI agents have deemed the newly minted investigation dicey, having to navigate separate agreements with embedded intelligence assets while trying to pinpoint responsibility for the violence. Oh, God. Because, they have contracts for CIs and stuff like that, that kind of, because it makes them an asset, they can get away with doing more. Because it'll say, well, you're having to commit criminal activity in order to infiltrate or whatever. So they can get away with, committing crimes. And that's perfectly fine to law enforcement. And now them doing that with these agreements is going to bite them in the fucking ass. And the people who are responsible are probably not going to see criminal charges. Okay? They'll see that, if lucky, is my take from this. Late Saturday, the Justice Department announced the federal probe. The investigation, spearheaded by Richmond, Virginia FBI field office, was launched after an Ohio man drove his car through a crowd of demonstrators, killing one woman and injuring dozens. Which is disgusting. It's awful. It's reprehensible that the situation escalated to that point. And there were a lot of people, a lot of different factors on who was at fault with it too. I mean, the president was actually right about that, from all the sides involved. They're all guilty at this. The FBI has intel assets implanted in several white supremacy sects as well as the radical Antifa group, according to the federal law enforcement sources who spoke to True Pundit. Oh, God. This is actually the type of shit that the FBI had going on in the 1960s, and I thought we were done with this. They actually, and so didn't the New York City Police Department and a lot of other, police departments and law enforcement agencies across the country and federally. They had infiltrators during the 60s in all these different groups. And they were the ones who literally were radicalizing these people. Like, oh, gonna throw blood on a statue during Vietnam? Odds are the blood was, at minimum, supplied by a federal asset or agent. At maximum, they're the ones who committed the actual crime. So I mean, that should say a lot with this situation when the FBI has along with other law enforcement agencies, has a history of this type of stuff going on. It needs to stop. It's just disgusting. The FBI sources said it's unlikely an asset would be charged for stoking violence in Virginia if, for instance, that asset had or was providing valuable information on another domestic terrorism case. Which they're just going to open fucking cases to save their fucking CIs and their assets. That's all they're going to fucking do. I mean, that's another problem with this situation. What we need to see is the DOJ tell the FBI, fuck you, you're pulling all their friggin' contracts and you're prosecuting every last one of those motherfuckers. Plain and simple. Do that, and people are going to think twice before they fucking start shit. Okay? Federal agencies are going to think fucking twice before using these people to instigate shit and escalate it. It needs to be done. We wouldn't do a solid informant. We wouldn't do a solid informant for this, one FBI insider said. You should. Because why the fuck should they get a free pass on their fucking crimes? Why the fuck should they get a free pass on instigating shit or escalating it? If they know that they're getting the free pass, they're more likely to be the ones doing that shit. They need to know that if they're committing crimes that are not related to what they're being a CI for, they're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. End of story. Plain and simple. That solves the problem. The word do here pertains to indict. I mean, that's fucked up. Federal law enforcement sources said that attitude would be different if the 2 Virginia State Police troopers who died were killed as part of the demonstrations. Well, of course, because you know what? When it's your fellow fucking law enforcement, you guys, oh yeah, got no problem with it. But when it's the average fucking person, the people that you're supposed to be keeping safe, that should be held at the same exact fucking standard, because everyone should be looked at equally. It's, fuck them. You guys are fucking pathetic in the FBI. You really are. That you'll fucking do this double standard shit. The troopers perished after they lost control of a state police helicopter which was leaving Charlottesville, according to NTSB records. One FBI insider said the Bureau is somewhat handcuffed in the investigation like this. Well, of course, you guys fucked yourself. Because you got to put these people in these organizations and fucking radicalize them and get them to fucking actually do the shit that they did. So that you can fucking justify your goddamn existence. Because, fact, you guys were involved in radicalizing the Boston Marathon bombers. The same with the guy who drove the truck, the van, I should say, into Times Square with the explosives. And the list goes on and on. So, you guys need to stop that shit. You really do. Put agents in. Get some fucking wet behind the ears, barely in their 20s, can pass for younger fucking man or woman, recruit them out of college, fucking train them, and have them go undercover. Okay? Do it like 21 fucking Jump Street style, because that's the only way we can avoid this type of shit from happening again. Okay? People who were involved in assaulting other people are going to get off from their crimes. Because they rat other people out. Okay? That's even worse. Okay? If they weren't snitches, I could have, at least an inkling of respect for them. But I don't even have that. Especially when they're starting shit and getting off scot-free. How can you charge someone who might be linked, the FBI insider asked, when you've been paying them for months or longer? Exactly. Now you look culpable. Why? Because you are culpable. Because you're supporting them. Because you're using them to stir up shit. Using them to fucking spy on others so that you can justify your existence. I mean, and you're footing the bill. It's just disgusting. Anyways, this really needs to get out, because when justice isn't served with this in the end, people are going to wonder why. And they need to know this is why, so that they can go and tell the FBI, stop this shit. They can tell the federal government and the DOJ to end it, because it needs to stop. Do the federal undercover and agent type stuff. That's what you need to do. Anyways, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up or upvote depending on where you're watching it. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to get more of my content on a regular basis. If you're on YouTube, ring that bell so you can be alerted. Hopefully, if YouTube hasn't put me in my own little sequestered area. Thank you all for watching.